Alright, what's going on, Forgotten Nation? I'm your host, FG, and today we're looking at Shinobi. This is definitely one of the highlights of Sega's arcade gaming catalog, having released in arcades in 1987. Although it never did have its own proper arcade cabinet, it was a conversion kit here in America that did replace other arcade games that may not have done well at the time. But I think it was definitely worth the trade-off, because Shinobi is probably one of the best arcade games from Sega, at least in my opinion. And not only is the gameplay really addicting to say the least, but it would revolutionize the type of action platforming genre that we could see in the arcades, as there would be other games that try to simulate the style of Shinobi, and this would later go on to spawn the Shinobi series. So the arcade game is the first along the lines. So, to explain the gameplay and a little bit of the plot relevancy, let's quarter up. And this is the Astro City Mini, so it is in Japanese, so I can't explain a whole lot happening here. But we play as Joe Musashi, who is on a quest to take down the evil organization Zed, which has kidnapped the children of his ninja clan for evil purposes. And so our objective is to go stage to stage, not only rescuing the children, but taking down all the evil near-dwellers that stand up against his way. And we have two main means of attacking. With his projectile-based attacks, which in this case we got the gun upgrade, as well as melee attacks, such as his katana. But at the end of every stage, after rescuing the children, we proceed forward. We get a small glimpse of the boss for a given area, and this area is Ken-O. So that means that with a total of 5 different missions, and a various amount of levels per each, usually 3 or 4, we have quite a bit of content to go through in this arcade game. But the main objective, of course, is rescue the children and get to the end of the stage. In every stage, we have the use of one special, with 3 in total, this one being the Tornado. So, for every stage it replenishes, and that's good, because that means that for areas where things can get quite a bit intense, you essentially have an ability that wipes out all the enemies on the screen. And that'll come in handy, especially in the later areas of the game. For example, user right here to show off the Tornado. But that's the objective of the game, pretty straightforward. So what makes it unique? Well, aside from the art style, because this is a really impressive looking arcade game, but even just the gameplay, you'll notice how one of the things that we're doing is going between the bottom ground and the foreground. We'll explain more as we get into the next stage, but for now, let's just take on the boss of the area. We'll use our specials since we gotta avoid fireballs. Yeah, this guy's a big pushover. Just gotta make sure we go for the helmet and avoid his fire. Thankfully, we have unlimited amount of the ninja throwing stars, which you expect in an arcade game. But we take him out nice and easy.
Mission 1 finished.
Finished. At the end of every area, we have a bonus game where the objective is to use our throwing stars and take out all the enemies that are not only going from left to right, but they're trying to get closer to you. And if they do, that happens. You fail. But if you are successful, you actually can get a 1-up from the bonus game. So it's pretty generous as far as that goes. But then we go to the next area. So as I was saying, one thing that made the game unique, aside from its addicting gameplay, is the ability of going between top and bottom. And this is very similar to another game I have covered previously on the channel in gameplay sessions. And you know it, I know it, Rolling Thunder. Namco's own game, they actually did a very similar formula with it. So that kind of shows you the inspiration that Shinobi had with arcade games at the time. Crazy to think about. Comparing though Rolling Thunder to Shinobi, whereas one's going for a 1950s spy aesthetic, this one's going for ninjas, Shinobi is definitely far more unique as far as what it's trying to do. Especially since ninjas, although a bit common at the time, we're talking stuff like Ninja Gaiden, we're talking the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You don't see a whole lot of stuff like the 1950s, but one is far more unique in what it's trying to do. And you know it's gotta be Shinobi. And even with the being able to go back and forth between areas like these, is cool to see. But even just the controls too, being able to have melee attacks added in besides just projectiles is a cool addition. It adds more diversity to the gameplay. The specials, I just really enjoy this game. So adding to the trope that has been these gameplay sessions, my first coverage of this game, rather the first time I was exposed to it, was through Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection, which thankfully this game has been pretty generous as far as porting goes. It's been on quite a number of consoles in the past, present, and even as now. The present. The very last version of this game to have been released was for the Nintendo Switch as part of SEGA Ages. So if you want to check out Shinobi, that's probably going to be the best place to play it. I would recommend it. I would easily recommend it. Just because this is probably one of the best arcade games, not just of Sega, but even the arcade at the time. It was a big success both in Japan and America. The fact that it spawned a whole series onto itself definitely speaks for the power that it had. And again, when you think of ninjas, especially game ninjas, these are the ones you think of just because of how fun the game is, which should be the most important thing, how fun a game can be. And thankfully it's not too hard compared to other games at the time, and some we've covered already, but it still has a challenge factor to it. Alright, rescue the children, and try not to die in the process. Probably should use a special there. No. Honestly, I wish I'd played this a little more. I've only ever played the first couple of stages like I am now. I've never gotten like really far into it, but I know there is definitely something great here. And part of that is just, again, my exposure to the game being the Ultimate Genesis Collection. I was more focused on other games such as, let's say, Sonic and Knuckles. Let's say, I don't know, what's another one? Comic Zone? That I never really gave this game the opportunity of giving like a full playthrough. I dedicated more time to Altered Beast than this. Let that sink in. So, it's on myself for missing out on this one. But that changes. I can play through this right now if I want to. But I'm going to keep the gameplay session short. If I don't get anywhere past this stage, we'll call it there. But I'm just saying, don't make the same mistake I did. This is definitely one that's well worth your time. And a lot of people's time too. A lot of people enjoyed this game back when it came out in '87. Back even right now for Sega Ages. This is just one of Sega's great arcade games, along the lines of Alien Syndrome and all the others. So do check it out. If this gameplay session doesn't convince you otherwise, take my words for what they're worth. Alright, let's try this one more time because I got one more life. Thankfully there are checkpoints for the most part. So we just need to keep going and not die. Oh. Okay, there are no checkpoints. Alright. So that's gonna do it. We're gonna let the time tick. I probably got like 7, 6, somewhere on the high scoreboard. So let's just wait, enter our names. Yep. Let's go. B. N. M. End. What do we get, baby? What do we get? Number 6. So I'll take it for what it's worth. So that was Shinobi. Again, one of Sega's greatest arcade games of all time. Still holds true even today. If there's any arcade game from the Sega lineup that's worth checking out, this is one to check out. But that's going to do it for this gameplay session of Shinobi. If you liked this video, be sure to leave a like and comment down below. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.